New York Judge Paul Engelmayer just forbade all political appointees, including Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, from accessing the Department of Treasury data, all based on blue anon conspiracy theories. Okay. Those theories couldn't be challenged because the order was ex parte, meaning Trump's lawyers weren't warned and couldn't weigh in. Only Democrat attorney generals were allowed to argue. The judge cites no law or logic to support this unprecedented order because it defies both. The judge's ruling is, in essence, that Scott Bessent simply occupies a ceremonial position without real power, like the King of England. This is a grenade thrown into the functioning of the Treasury Department. It forbids the elected government from accessing information about budget and finances. Instead, only the permanent deep state government can know what's being spent. I mean, Scott Bessent's subordinates have far more power than Scott Bessent does. Democrat pundits who whine about the Constitution are liars and will shred it the first chance they get. For now, the order is only for the next week, but if a court tries to make it permanent, the Trump admin should absolutely consider defying it. That's treason. Do things. Better yet, SCOTUS should bar this judge from ever hearing similar cases again, and every Democrat lawyer involved should be sanctioned. What the fuck is blue anon? Who knows? Another name for the deep state? I could go and look up this order, but my guess is every single legal thing he said here is completely and totally fucking incorrect. So, but what's even the fucking point, I guess? Stop linking Kanye West tweets, okay? Jesus. The lie is that it's about fucking Musk that has been blocked. Do I ever want to look up this order? Can you read the Ethan Klein lawsuit? The really old one? Or is there a new one? Or what do you mean? State of New York, State of Arizona, State of California, State of Colorado, State of Connecticut, Delaware. These are all the states that are suing. These are the plaintiffs are suing Donald J. Trump in his official capacity as President of the United States, U.S. Department of the Secretary, and Scott Bessent in his official capacity as Secretary of the Guy. The court, sitting in its Part 1 capacity, this evening received an application for a temporary restraining order filed by the Attorneys General of the 19 states identified as plaintiffs above. The state's lawsuit challenges a new policy by the U.S. Department of Treasury at the direction of the President and the Secretary of the Treasury, which, as alleged, expands access to the payment systems of the Bureau of Fiscal Services to political appointees and special government employees. The states contend that this policy, among other things, is what inter alia means, right? Yeah. That the states contend that when you do law, you just have to put random Latin everywhere because it makes you smart. Fuck these losers. The states contend that this policy, inter alia, violates the Administrative Procedure Act in multiple respects, exceeds the statutory authority of the Department of the Treasury, violates the Separation of Powers Doctrine, and violates the Take Care Clause of the United States Constitution. The states seek declaratory and injunctive relief. An injunction means you're trying to prevent somebody from doing something. Declaratory relief, what does that mean? Declaratory relief refers to a court's declaratory judgment stating the rights of parties without ordering any specific action or listing awards for damages. Declaratory relief allows a party who is not certain of his rights to prevent the accrual of avoidable damages and to obtain an adjudication before the parties bring a coercive lawsuit. declaratory relief can be contrasted with coercive relief, where the court orders a party to pay monetary damages or take certain action under injunctive relief. Okay. So they want the courts to make a statement on like, hey, you guys can't really do this, right? Later this evening, upon the state's successful filing of their submissions, this matter was assigned on a permanent basis to the Honorable Jeanette A. Vargas, U.S. District Judge. The court has reviewed the affirmation of Colleen K. Faherty, dated February 7th, 2025, in support of the state's motion for a temporary restraining order, the state's memorandum of law in support of that motion, the state's motion for a temporary restraining order, Court's firm assessment is that for the reasons stated by the states, they will face irreparable harm in the absence of injunctive relief. That is both because of the risk. So one of the ways that you can get a preliminary injunction, I think, so like an injunction before the case has happened, is because you're saying, if they go through with this action, you're never going to be able to make me whole again. The point of the courts is to make you whole in these types of cases, civil cases, right? Make me whole. And if you allow them to go through with this, then I'm fucked. So I need a preliminary injunctive relief. Now, these are really hard to get. A judge has to look at it and think that you're likely to succeed in the case. The judge has to make that decision, and it sounds like they have. So here's the proof that or this is the statement that's both because the risk that the new party presents of the disclosure of sensitive and confidential information and the heightened risk that the systems in question will be more vulnerable than before to hacking. The court's further assessment is that, again, for the reasons given by the states have shown a likelihood of success on the merits of their claims, with the state's statutory claims presenting as particularly strong. So the judge is agreeing that there would be irreparable harm by leaking this information, and they're likely to succeed on the merits of the case. Yeah. The court's further assessment is that the balance of the equities for the reasons stated by the states favors the entry of emergency relief. The court accordingly orders that the defendants show cause before the Honorable Jeanette A. Vargas at courtroom 14C, blah, 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 why an order should not be issued pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, preliminarily enjoining the defendants during the pendency of this action from granting to political appointees, special government employees, and any government employee detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department access to the Treasury. So these are for employees outside of the Treasury Department. And so this is saying that they can submit, the defendants can submit an order, or I'm sorry, they can file a motion to contest this order, because right now people outside of the Treasury Department have been injunctively blocked from having access to it. Okay. Department payment systems or any other data maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information, and further orders that sufficient reason having been shown therefore, pending the hearing of the state's application for a preliminary injunction pursuant to Rule 65 of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, the defendants are 1, restrained from granting access to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information and or confidential financial information of payers, other than to civil servants with a need for access to perform their job duties within the Bureau of Fiscal Services, who have passed all background checks and security clearances and taken all information security training called for in federal statutes and Treasury Department regulations. 2, restrained from granting access to all political appointees, special government employees, and government employees detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personal law. And 3, ordered to direct any person prohibited above from having access to such information, records, and systems, but who has had access to such information, records, systems since January 20th, to immediately destroy any and all copies of material downloaded from the Treasury Department's records and systems, and if any federal orders that any opposition submission by defendants be filed by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, February 11th. So they have 3 days to file a motion countering this, and then any reply by the states be filed by 5 p.m. on Thursday, February 13th. Orders that personal service of a copy of this order and the state's above described affidavit, memorandum of law, and complaint be filed upon the defendants or their counsel on or before February 8th, 2025. By service just means it's been delivered officially. The states forthwith serve these, so they're on notice. Serve these materials by email on government counsel. Okay. Okay, wait. So what's the point of so Charlie Kirk is just wait, hold on. Is an officer or the head of a department considered part of that department? Like, is the attorney general considered part of the Department of Justice, or do these people exist on top of and aren't part of the Department of Justice? The reason why I ask is because that would mean that Charlie Kirk's tweet here, if this is the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, he would have access to all of this. If I'm assuming the Treasury Secretary is part of the Department of Treasury, right? So he's just lying here. Those theories couldn't be challenged because the order was ex parte, meaning Trump's lawyers weren't warned and couldn't weigh in. Well, it's a preliminary injunction. Aren't these always? There wouldn't be much point. Well, I don't know, actually. Let's read. In legal ethics, is it ex parte or is it ex parte? I don't know how to pronounce this bullshit. Refers to improper contact with a party or a judge. Ethical rules typically forbid a lawyer from contacting the judge or the opposing party without the other party's lawyer also being present. A breach of these rules. Ex parte refers to, okay, in civil procedure, this is what we're looking for. Ex parte is used to refer to motions for orders that can be granted without waiting for a response from the other side. Generally, these are orders that are only in place till further hearings can be held, such as a temporary restraining order. Somebody in chat said, TROs can be ex parte, preliminary injunctions can't. Is that true? Can preliminary injunction be ex parte? Rule 65, injunctions and restraining orders. Preliminary injunction. The court may issue a preliminary injunction only on notice to the adverse party. Okay, so they serve them, so that's notice, right? I'm guessing that's what notice means, right? Before or after beginning the hearing on a motion for preliminary injunction, the court may advance the trial on the merits and consolidate it without the hearing, even when consolidation is not ordered. Evidence that is received by the motion would be admissible. Trial becomes part of the trial record and need not be repeated at trial. Where is the I don't believe you. I don't believe you unless you link me something. I think you're just lying. I don't understand why Scott Bessent wouldn't have a preliminary injunction lasts for the entire case. A TRO lasts only until the preliminary injunction. It's super short term. Sure. Fuck. Do I bother responding to this? Does it even matter? I don't know. Let me use the restroom. Hold on one sec. I feel like it's just like a fucking fire hose of bullshit. One sec. Ooh. Is this even worth it? I'll just copy paste this to my main account. Can somebody explain this? Am I wrong in my understanding on, on this order? Would this order apply to Scott Bessent? Or is Toothless? Like, it sounds like the order is only applying to people that aren't part of the Treasury Department. Or does the defendant show cause before blah, blah, blah? Why an order should not be issued pursuant to Rule 65 or preliminary joining the defendants during the pendency of the action for granting political appointees, special government employees, and any government employee detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department access to Treasury Department payment systems. Oh, wait, actually, grammatically, I can't read this. Or I don't know what this is saying. Is this saying stopping the defendants during the pendency of this action from granting to political appointees, special government employees, and any government employee, all three of these classes of people, detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department? Or is this just saying all political appointees, all special government employees, and then any government employee from an outside the Treasury Department agency? I feel like they would have clarified that in the order if they're literally barring. Like, how could you bar? Has Scott Bessent been confirmed yet? Or is he acting? He's still acting? RP. Fuck, does nobody know? Why does this, I'm not a fucking, Scott Bessent, new court order. Nobody is saying that Scott Bessent is blocked, are they? It's just blocking Doge, right? I feel like they would have clarified that in the order if it was actually blocking Bessent from having access, no? I see that Pisco made a video about it on Pisco's Hour. At the very least, people are interpreting it as political appointee applies to the Secretary of the Treasury. Why is this only clarifying, or why all these articles are just saying Elon Musk's department? They're not mentioning Scott. Where did he mention this on Pisco's Hour? It is in the article later on. Archive. Wait, who said that? The early Saturday order is the paragraph. It is in the article later. Is there a different article that you meant to link, or? The early Saturday order. Where are you getting this thing from? Did you mean to link a different article? Perhaps the article has been updated and the archive is an old snapshot. Oh my fucking God. Wait, do I not have a Wall Street Journal login? Hold on. I feel like I pay for this. Or maybe I don't. Thanks for reading. Subscribe to get unlimited. Okay, I don't know if this means I have a subscription or not. Who cares? Fuck it. Maybe I get a few free articles a week. The early Saturday order by Judge Paul Engelmayer, an Obama appointee, precludes officials without proper background checks and security clearances from accessing the payment system through at least next Friday, including the political appointees and special government appointees. It also orders any prohibited persons from accessing or who has had access to the records since presidential inauguration to destroy them. Where do you see that? Your interpretation of that is that Bessent wouldn't have access? Why wouldn't an article specify that? I feel like that would be the juiciest part of that. Why would they not say that? Bessent has access. This is crazy. Yeah, okay. I think you're just sending me down a wild goose chase of retarded shit. Never mind. There's no way that this is the case, and nobody has said this or nobody's written about this in any article anywhere whatsoever. I think you're just making shit up. Okay, never mind. Find me an article that says something different. Otherwise, this is retarded. I don't know why I just went on this retarded goose chase. Okay. Nothing. The order specifies that appointees, or that special appointees and employees outside, you can't do italics or anything on this fucking platform, right? Outside of the Treasury Department. I'll just copy paste this to my main account. To have access to sensitive systems in the Treasury. It says already how the law is written. Oh, actually, I need to have pictures, maybe. Say he has access to everything. Oh, true. Okay, you're right. Maintains access to everything as he is the confirmed head of the Department of Treasury. Oh, I can do italics on my main account. Okay. A preliminary injunction can be issued ex parte. I'm assuming this is true. It must be true. The defendants have until, what was it, February 11th to respond? (5 p.m. on February 11th to respond to overturn it. It wasn't a video, but Pisco's going over it live on stream right now.
Certainly don't have that confidence necessarily in the Supreme Court of the United States, but the judicial department. It may not be at this level, at the district court level, but if they don't have success at the district court level or at the Court of Appeals level, and if there's an ultimate confrontation with the Supreme Court, I'm telling you right now, there will be a confrontation, and this administration will try to undermine and defy.
I don't think Bessent has access. He's the confirmed head of the Department of Treasury. You're going to have to show me something that says he doesn't have access, because that would be quite the overreach from the judiciary, no? To block the Treasury Secretary from having access to the Department of Treasury? Wouldn't that be quite an extraordinary thing? Unless department heads are not considered part of their department, which sounds weird. Like, could you block the Attorney General from having access to the Department of Justice? I would have to see, I need to just see one link, one news link that shows that that's the case. Otherwise, I don't believe that. Yeah, but he's a political appointee. It's extreme, but the allegations are extreme. It doesn't matter if he's a political appointee. My feeling is that this order was written to block political appointees like doji people, because you could appoint somebody to the White House and say like, oh, well, he's got the ability to access all the information he wants. Bullshit. Fuck you. That's a political appointee. The head of the Department of Treasury he's confirmed. That he's part of the Treasury Department. And I feel like, and I could be wrong, maybe this is just really well-established law that is so obvious that the judge wouldn't put it in the order. But if Bessent himself was denied the ability to access his own department, I feel like that would be specified in the order, no? You would have to show me, I would need to see this in a single article anywhere to believe that. I just don't believe it otherwise. Otherwise, we'll just tweet it out, be embarrassed, and then we'll delete the tweet and pretend we never said it. Before we fact find, how would you feel if it was the case that the judge was making a massive reach? Well, you can't block the Treasury Department head from accessing data in the Treasury, but it sounds like in this rule, they even say that like if you're in the Treasury, you can't hand out data to other people. So I feel like that would cover him. Like this says that the defendants are. No, I'm right. I know that I'm right. Because the defendants here are Scott Bessent and Donald J. Trump, right? And this order, the second part of the order is that the defendants are restrained from granting access to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personally identifiable information and or confidential financial information of payees other than to civil servants with a need for access to perform their job duties within the Bureau of Fiscal Services who have passed all background checks. So this is saying that Trump or Scott Bessent can't turn that info over to people who aren't authorized to have it. So they're not blocked from accessing it. And then they're restrained from granting access to all political appointees, special government employees, and government employees detailed from an agency outside the Treasury Department to any Treasury Department payment record, payment systems, or any other data systems maintained by the Treasury Department containing personal identifiable. Yeah. So I feel like I'm correct. I think my reading here is correct. Why are people struggling with this? Well, I mean, I can say I could be a little bit confusing, but I think I'm correct. Hold on. The judge's ruling, in essence, that Scott Bessent simply occupies a ceremonial position without real power. The King of England. Okay, that's just retarded. It forbids the elected government from accessing information about budget and finances. Instead, only the permanent deep state government can know what's being spent. Department who aren't supposed to have access for now. The order is only for the next week, but if a court tries to make it permanent, well, a preliminary injunction, I think like Toothless said, a preliminary injunction should be granted until the end of the case. No? So I don't know where he gets it. It's only until next week. Unless he's confused that people have a chance to respond and all that. Destiny, it's a TRO and an order to show cause as to why preliminary injunction shouldn't be granted. Wait, what? Oh, you're right. This is a temporary restraining order. This is not a preliminary injunction. Wait, why the fuck did I ever? Where did I even? Why have I even been saying injunction then? What I've been saying? Oh, wait. Okay, I'm just fucking retarded. Okay, so a TRO, definitionally, is a TRO always ex parte? Temporary restraining order. I hate that you can't link things in a fucking tweet anymore without Elon Musk fucking your shit up. Okay. If you do plus and then put a second tweet and there's a link to the second tweet, does that fuck up your SEO as well? I have no idea. Don't know, don't care. Okay, whatever. I tweeted. SEO is not just magic that nobody understands. What was that sentence? SEO is now just magic that nobody understands. No, I think on Twitter, they very explicitly, if you link to something in your tweet, like link outside of Twitter, they get really mad and they deboost your shit. Like, it's not like a secret, horrible thing. It's like, that's just like openly stated, I believe. Destiny, no, look at the FRCP Rule 65B. They can be with or without federal rules of civil procedure. Yeah, sure. It makes sense that a temporary restraining order could be issued. That's what I thought this was just a preliminary injunction. But when they mention preliminary injunction in here, they're saying that the states are putting together an application for a preliminary injunction. Temporary restraining orders are, as you said, that's a short term and that's like an emergency. That's like I believe that the standard for a TRO, I think, is higher even than for a preliminary injunction, which is higher than a stay. Right? Like TROs are, I think, fairly hard to get, or they have to be like extreme circumstances that warrant them or something. So it would make sense that that's like more sense that would be an ex parte thing versus a preliminary injunction, which might not be. Maybe, I don't know. Who cares? Okay, don't care about this. The fuck? President Trump revoking security clearances for New York Attorney General Letitia James and Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. Did they have them before? Probably for working on federal stuff, or who knows? Whatever. Okay. TROs last just until you can have a hearing for a preliminary injunction, and you have to expedite the hearings. It only lasts up to 14 days with a possible extension. Gotcha. Russ Vought, Trump's budget guy, just confirmed 5347 by the Senate, caught on hidden camera saying Trump's Project 25 disavowal was a lie. They're keeping their real plan secret. They want to only let in Christian immigrants. Getting a lot more Hispanics.
In an ideal world, I mean, I think we
Oh, I think we already saw this, didn't we? I don't know if there's like more footage here that we hadn't seen before.
we could save the country in a sense of, the largest deportation in history. And once that starts, we're going to be winning a debate along the way about what that looks like, right? Yeah. And so that's going to cause us get us off of multiculturalism just to be able to sustain and defend the deportation, right? If we're going to have legal immigration, can we get people that actually believe in Christianity? Is that something, or do we have to have, are we not allowed to ask questions about Sharia law? So I want to make sure that we can say we're a Christian nation, and my viewpoint is mostly that I would probably be Christian nationism. That's pretty close to Christian nationalism, because I also believe in nationalism.
Behind closed doors, Vogt tells us not to take Trump's disavowal seriously.
I expect to hear 10 more times from the rally, the president, distancing himself from the left's boogeyman.
I feel like I've answered this question 50 quadrillion times. Destiny, do you regret not going deeper and harder on Project 2025 stuff now that it seems to be the way things are actually going? I'm going to give you the same answer I've given a billion times. My issue with Project 2025 was never that it wasn't bad or that it wasn't likely to happen. It was just that I don't think Americans care much about policy. So focusing on a whole book of policy stuff, most Americans aren't going to give a fuck. I've said this a million times.
Project 2025.
Yeah. And you're not worried about that?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay.
He's running against the brand. He is not running against any people.
Okay.
He is not running against any institutions. It's interesting. He's in fact not even opposing himself to a particular policy. Yeah. He's been at our organization. He's raised money for our organization. He's blessed it from the, I remember walking into our last day in office and told him what I was going to do. So he's very supportive of what we do.
Our investigation into Project 2025 began 2 weeks before the meeting with Vogt at a conference for religious nationalists in D.C.
The truth is, Christian nationalism is not a threat to American democracy. Christian nationalism founded America.
Okay. Testing concluded the judge did bar Bessent from accessing the data himself or didn't bar Bessent from... I don't think he barred him. I think that's bullshit. I think Charlie Kirk's just lying. But everybody keeps saying this, unless I'm missing something. Lawfare in an egregious and unconstitutional assault on executive authority, Judge Paul Engelmayer has unilaterally forbidden all of Trump's political appointees, including Scott Bessent. Wait, what is this? What website is this from? Where it says, Obama judge banned Treasury Secretary Bessent from accessing his agency's data. Subscribe to A-Muse I guess from X. Accuracy confidence low. Wait, is this like rating the reliability of this publication through some third-party thing that is literally saying right here that what is... Okay, this is all retarded. Don't care. I already responded to this. MAGA mom on Doji. She went from chill out to save my daughter Ilana DJT in 3 days. If the Treasury Secretary does not remove Doji's access to the Treasury payment systems at once, Congress must immediately act. Chill out, Chucky. Everything is going to be all right. What I can't forget at the moment is Doji has left my daughter, a single mom of 2 young girls, stranded in a foreign country. Oh, what? Because she worked for some USAID thing? She has been a competent, loyal, and exceptional employee as PEPFAR coordinator in 3 countries. Oh, yeah, we read about this. Or somebody emailed me about this. Not only fired, but abandoned with no resources. FYI, I voted for you 3 times, and I thought family meant something to you. Doji has stranded my daughter, a PEPFAR coordinator, over 7 years, 3 countries. Single mom abandoned with no government response to questions. This is outrageous. Her daughter was literally a fucking government employee and she voted for Trump? What the fuck? I will say something that's like really, really, really sad is I hear so many stories from people who have parents who are like directly believing conspiracy theorists over like the thing that they specialize in or work in. So children who like work for the FBI or CIA, whose mom and dads think that like everybody else in the department is up to some deep state shit. Children who are doctors or nurses, whose parents tell them that like vaccines and pharmaceuticals are all trying to kill you. Children who are who are like specialized in an area and their parents just like, nah, I believe this guy that I just saw on Facebook over anything you say. I was going to say that would drive me crazy, but I guess that's kind of happened with my parents. But I feel like I do like political commentary, so it's not the same necessarily as specializing. But oh, true. Good point. Federal judges blocked Elon Musk's Doji from accessing U.S. Treasury records containing personal financial data. Even he's not saying he's lost access. True. Okay. My biggest fight with my dad has been over alien conspiracies. Oof. And are you an actual alien and he doesn't believe you? Wait, is everybody spelling this guy's name wrong? Is his name with just one S? Or did he just... Is his handle different? Okay, never mind. It's probably AI generated and the AI confidence of accuracy is low. So later when they're in court or some shit, all these lies can be like, oh, wait, do you think that whole story was just AI generated off the fucking court document? You've been talking to an AI? Based.